Welcome back to your weekly rundown. This week, there was no shortage of news and headlines. Let's jump in. U.S.-Israeli strikes continue across Iran as the war widens, prompting the country's retaliation with missiles and drones targeting nearby countries. Efforts to constrain the conflict stalled after Congress failed to pass a resolution limiting Trump's ability to carry out further military action. Meanwhile, the president told reporters he should play a direct role in selecting Iran's next leader. Thousands of Americans are now stranded in the Middle East, drawing sharp criticism of the Trump administration's lack of help in evacuating. Since the attacks began, more than 1,000 people in Iran and 6 U.S. service members have been killed. Kristi Noem is out as Secretary of Homeland Security. Trump has nominated Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to replace her. Noem will instead serve as Special Envoy for the Shield of the Americas, part of the administration's new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. The move comes after Noem faced tough questions at a congressional hearing this week over a costly ad campaign, contracts, spending, immigration enforcement tactics, FEMA relief, and numerous calls for her resignation. She is the first cabinet secretary to be ousted in Trump's second term. On Tuesday, voters in Texas, Arkansas, and North Carolina headed to the polls, kicking off the road to the 2026 midterm elections. Our endorsed candidate, Representative Jasmine Crockett, made a strong showing, garnering over 1 million votes. The race was later called for Representative James Tellerico, who advances to the general election. There was good news out of North Carolina. Endorsed candidates Representative Alma Adams and Representative Valerie Foushee are both moving on to the general. And in Texas, Democrats Al Green and Christian Menefee are headed to a runoff. We'll be watching Illinois next on March 17th. The conflict in Iran has raised concerns about rising U.S. gas prices. Trump downplayed the potential surge, saying the military operation was his priority and that he was not worried about higher prices at the pump. Analysts say sustained increases in gas prices could hurt Republicans in November's midterm elections, when control of Congress is at stake. On Wednesday, Spain denied the White House's assertion that it had agreed to cooperate with American military operations in Iran, reiterating its earlier refusal. "Our position has been very clear from day one," said Defense Minister Margarita Robles. Trump threatened to cut off all trade after the Spanish government refused to allow U.S. forces to access 2 jointly operated military bases in the country. The House Oversight Committee voted to subpoena Attorney General Pam Bondi over her role in the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Republican Representative Nancy Mace prompted the move, and the motion passed with bipartisan support 24-19. The vote marks the latest step in the committee's probe, as frustration over Bondi's handling of the release has drawn widespread criticism. House Democrats have gone even further, filing articles of impeachment against her on Thursday. On Thursday, Texas Representative Tony Gonzalez announced he would drop his re-election bid after admitting to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. A number of Republicans had been calling for him to withdraw, and the House Ethics Committee announced Wednesday it would open an investigation. He will serve out the rest of his term. A Georgia jury found Colin Gray guilty in connection with the 2024 mass shooting allegedly carried out by his son, a case that has tested the limits of parental responsibility. Colt Gray is accused of gunning down 2 classmates and 2 teachers using an AR-15 style rifle that his father gifted him, according to prosecutors. They also accused Colin of ignoring warning signs of his son's potential violence and his mental health. The father faces a maximum of 180 years in prison. It's official. Higher Heights PAC-endorsed candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms is the first Democrat to qualify for Georgia's governor race and will face her opponents in May during the Democratic primary. If elected, she would make history as the first Black woman governor in the United States. At 105 years old, Virginia Dillard proudly walked into her polling place to cast her ballot in Texas's primary election. She was only 4 months when the 19th Amendment passed, giving women the right to vote. However, Dillard wouldn't cast her first vote until she was in her 50s. Living through this, she would instill the importance of voting in her children at an early age. The young voters need to know the future belongs to them, she said. That's all, or should I say enough for this week. Take care of yourself. Until next time.